wanna see this. Yeah. Hey, I remember.
Hi, I'm Paul Warren.
And I'm Ryan Klein.
And this is another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies.
Hey,
it's been a little bit. We're back finally. It's a little bit. Our last episode, we were like, hey, it's been a little bit. This has, I think, been a longer period of time between recordings than even the last one.
Yeah, we got to get more consistent with this, my man.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that we're busy? Or
busy life.
Or is that UCF football is on?
And we're not just podcasting. We also have jobs. We do this for fun. No one pays us for this, just so you know, guys out there listening. This is all free advice. So sometimes we get busy doing actual real-life SEO.
Well, I mean, we could get paid if anyone wants to do any sort of sponsorships. We get approximately 3.2 listeners a day.
Yeah, so anyone out there listening that would pay us to talk to us.
We'll start having guests on.
We'll talk for you.
Hey, talk for me. Talk for you. That's not a real thing.
Talking about it.
I'm going to delete this. Never mind. Okay, so, Paul, what are we going to talk about today?
So today we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of business owners, even really SEOs too, because I get emails about this stuff all the time. It's like, how do you know if you're being scammed from like an SEO company or an SEO service or just something in general? So I know this is probably a pretty big pain point just from like the amount of clients that I've dealt with and that Ryan's dealt with. You know, they're always a little worried about like, man, are these people actually doing this work? Is this work even like necessary? Like, are they just charging me for nothing just to be able to charge me because I don't know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest pain point of like most clients that you're gonna sign. Yeah,
because I feel like most business owners, they acknowledge that they're always going to need some sort of marketing because that's just the way everything is going nowadays. So whether it be, social or some search engine optimization, search engine marketing, most owners acknowledge that they should be doing something because, to either stay competitive and make sure that their competition isn't getting market share, but also to just increase their visibility and get leads and kind of keep that machine running. So Paul and I have been director of marketing in-house for years and years and years, and you still are, and I still see the ones that my clients forward. And you get all sorts of emails, you get all sorts of calls, you get all sorts of mailers that say one thing or another. So what's the most generic and common probably thing or proposition that you'll see?
Okay, the first one, and I don't know why have you ever gotten like something from LinkedIn, like someone trying to sell you some sort of SEO something on LinkedIn?
I
get it all the time.
Not me
like
personally.
I get messages all the time like, hey, we have blah blah service, or like a link building service, or a guest posting.
I'm a little bit surprised because LinkedIn is being professional and you're trying to connect on a more meaningful level. Mm-hmm. That you would think that, like, first of all, if you're not really well, they have a premium account, so therefore they can message you first without having to connect. Yeah, LinkedIn's becoming more popular for some people to do advertising, but it's just like I think it's more frustrating.
I get it all the time, which is weird because like I'm an SEO, so like I'm not really looking for SEO services, especially like comprehensive in-house ones, or like comprehensive ones to do like all of our campaigns. So like it doesn't like I don't even read them for the most part. I usually just delete them.
Do you think that these people that are using premium accounts to send messages are kind of hurting the reputation of LinkedIn as a whole for a place to connect with people? I don't think
so, because like you don't really connect with people on LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn's the place where you're friends with people you don't even know, right? Like that's sort of the whole purpose of it.
I thought that's what every other social platform was for.
No, I pretty much know everyone that I'm friends with on like Facebook.
That's right. I mean, I do have like 1,100 connections on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But I
have like 700, and I probably only know like.
Let's not go there. I know some.
75 maybe.
Well, how did that happen? Well, anyway, let's not go down that path. But
yeah. But it's so. The reason I was mentioning that, right? It's always like the same thing, right? And so I would say there's sort of like tiers of like pitches that you get. In emails, right? And the first one is always going to be like, usually from like some sort of Indian firm or agency or guy.
So yeah, the overseas ones are typically just like, I think that they know that they don't have like an advantage in most spots, so they're basically just like, hey, listen, we can just do a bunch of crap and it's be super cheap.
Yeah, so it'll just be like, I came across your site. You have great content, but you're not ranking in Google. It's like so it's a generic like.
This is the first instance of like spam or dishonesty.
Yeah, it's a it's a templated email, right? That they're sending out to as many emails that they can scrape from different services, right? Mm-hmm. So they've scraped. So whether like maybe you have a website and your like emails the admin on it, and like they can like pull that from that information, or like one of the biggest. I don't know if you've ever registered anything with like GoDaddy or something. But if you do, you're gonna get.
I still do buy my domains there.
Calls.
That's about it.
Yeah, like you're gonna get calls about building a website.
If you use your
if you use your phone number,
if you're registering info.
If you use an email, you're gonna get emails about the website that you just like purchased a domain for.
Right.
Unless you like do some privacy stuff on like.
Or you just use fake information.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which is very common.
But if it's like a real website that you care about, you usually don't use like fake info on that.
Right.
If it's like. If it was marketmymarket.com and you registered, like you want to be able to like get information to your actual email from GoDaddy if it comes in, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're ever doing that, you're always going to get bullcrap emails from people trying to sell you something. And even like GoDaddy calls you and they're like, hey, we'll build you this website for a crazy amount of money.
Yeah, you're just stick to doing what you do best, is just like making the domain purchasing seamless and then doing absolutely horrific hosting.
Yeah. And then providing terrible customer service on top of that,
and then blaming other people for you having compromised servers.
That's what they do.
So the first instance of so you're gonna get emails that are just like, oh, we do link building, we do content, we do this, blah blah blah. I mean, you're not gonna go to those people.
They're really like an advertisement. They're not necessarily like lying to your face. We're going to talk about some that lie to your face.
That's what we're going to dive into.
We're going to go
The first thing
into
is, you were saying you're not ranking for your keywords.
Yeah, they might say something like that. One that I love, and I still see it to this day, is like this is a total scam. It's like if you don't, you won't be ranked in like the search engines or something if you don't like buy this like thing.
Oh yeah.
You've seen this before.
What
right?
is it? So the thing is like what?
It's like you have a limited time. You haven't like purchased this thing that'll make sure that you're seen in search engines.
What's the thing, like a directory, a links, a package?
It's not even like a package. I think it's just like, I don't even think it's like anything. It's like, oh, if you don't register with this thing for blank amount of money, you won't be found in the search engines.
Oh so man, I guess I haven't seen that in a minute.
But it's made to look like it's coming from GoDaddy.
Ooh.
Right. So it's kind of like trying to scare people into thinking that like, oh, their site will never be found in Google if they don't pay, when this thing doesn't do anything, obviously, and it's like $100 or $50 or whatever, like the spam email tells you when you get it.
So it's a combination between an empty threat and a price point where it doesn't break the bank.
That's
so
right.
Just like
it's right at that.
Oh, that's like the thing where oh wow, I think that one of my clients, of course, Bill, he will get like a physical mailer that says, oh, it's time to renew for your placement on this directory.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, okay, you can send in the check or a money order or fill out your credit card information to be renewed again in this directory for $150. But the thing is that there's a disclaimer on it that basically says like, you actually or never on this directory, and it's just like you're just going to purchase it straight up. And so it kind of like says these things. It words it in a way where it's like you've always been on this before and it's like really important to you.
Yeah.
But then
you haven't been on it at all.
But it's actually technically you never have. And that's like kind of separate. But I think that when it comes to all these things, sometimes it's easy to read between the lines. But some people kind of just like panic.
Yeah.
And I see that just working with clients, and they forward me emails like, is this true?
You get forwarded stuff all the time as an SEO with clients. Like they'll get... So we'll go into some of like the other pitches and stuff that you'll see that are really,
let's talk about the ones that are obviously no-brainer, just ignore them. So, and then we'll move on to ones where they start to have merit, and then we'll move on to ones where people are like literally have a lot of time on their hands, and they actually go on and audit and get really nitpicky and use like scare tactics.
Yeah.
So the first tier, which is garbage, is you don't show up. Okay. And so if they're not like using your name, or you like, even if they use your URL, who cares? If it's like generic, and the only thing that's unique about it is like just your company name or just URL, and the rest is just like really critical and like overbearing, like you are not showing up, you are not indexed, you rank for nothing. I can already say that it's just spam.
If you're an existing website that's been around for a while, right? You rank for something. I promise you rank for something. Even if it's like, it might not even be on the first page, but like, you know, there's very few websites that don't have something indexed that rank in the first like top 100 for something. Mm-hmm. So like that's sort of like a silly thing to say. I've had agencies say that before. Actually, like the place that I left, we talked about this. Like the agency that guy brought in after I left was like, oh, they don't rank for anything, and I was like, what? Like
that doesn't mean anything.
Like that was like, it's like ridiculous. It's like, well, you know, here's like the tools that like say all that, like here's like the traffic showing like where's this traffic coming from if you don't rank for anything,
right?
Like,
Exactly.
It wasn't even like you only rank for your name. It was like, oh, you don't rank for anything. And I was like, oh, is the site did it disappear? Is it de-indexed or something?
No, I was never there in the first place. It was, you know.
Yeah, so you know, people that say like that, if you ever get emails that like guarantee like rankings like on the first page for anything, that's always going to be like a scam.
Yeah, one thing as a business owner, so this is actually like kind of a twofold thing. So you're going to have on one side, this is actually pretty good information for anyone that like is a consultant, freelancer, agency, and if they want to do an outbound campaign, the more like severe it seems and you're more broad it is, like you don't rank for anything, you're not getting traffic, you're not showing up for critical keywords, the more A, you're going to get ignored, and B, you're going to piss off people. The more specific you get and the more like composed and positive you are, that's when we get into better tracks. So we'll go over that later. And then on the other side, crap, what was that? That's why I shouldn't have done the twofold thing, because I got one track right now.
The second fold.
I know, there was like another
fold.
part of it. So this is like from a business owner standpoint. And then the next part being for the business owner is trying to avoid agencies typically that say, you know, if you guarantee results and then also money back guarantees, because as awesome as a money back guarantee sounds like, it's also not awesome wasting a shit ton of your time. And that's one thing that people have to, when I talk about the clients, to go, well, this person might give me my money back if it doesn't work out.
Let me tell you about money back guarantees.
Let's talk about money back guarantees.
They're usually fake as well.
So, like, are you saying that most of the time they won't honor it?
I'm saying that, and this isn't even, take out whatever company is pitching you and telling you this, right? Anywhere that I've worked that has offered a money back guarantee for like a product or whatever, it's usually like almost impossible to get that money back guarantee, right? And like a lot of places, particularly like agencies that would offer a money back guarantee, are probably going to not give you the money back as well.
And also, I mean, these agencies that are quality agencies that have quality staff, can't just be.
You would never like do that.
Like, I mean, you're paying someone that can do a money back guarantee. They're probably like, they're paying their employees garbage. Like the way that they're set up and they're structured to be able to support something like money back guarantee can almost guarantee that the quality of work is going to be super mediocre to begin with.
And in reality, I mean, you might think like, hey, you're going to make a lot of money off a client, but until you reach a certain point, you're losing money on a client. Like, if you lose a client within the first like month and a half after you started doing a bunch of work, you're not making any money on that client.
No,
it's just not going to happen.
That's why I tell people that, and that's why people shouldn't be super afraid of contracts too, because like, oh man, I don't want to work like the long run. You know, I don't want to sign like a year contract or 6-month contract. This company is money back. This company is month to month. It's like, dude, I mean, for someone to really ramp up, when like for most companies, it's just like Paul's saying, they're spending like a lot of time work on it, and it's a lot of effort, a lot of resources, a lot of personnel time to make it work. So, you know, agencies saying they're capable of doing that, it just doesn't go both ways.
No, not at all. So that's definitely, if I saw that in general, I would just kind of avoid it. Also, for the most part, agencies that have the prices already listed out, like in package deals, for you to like just like click to purchase, like it tells you like straight up front like how much it's going to cost. Usually that is not like, we're kind of getting off topic here, but
we can throw that one out there. I have my own opinion on this too.
That's not always the sign of like a really good agency, because you have to take in like a lot into account when you like sign a client, like the competition and like the geographical area, if they're geolocated, or there's just like a lot, and to be able to say like you're going to be able to cover all that and like this fixed price is like as kind of misleading usually. So you're probably not going to get like the best results if you use like a service that's like that as well.
I agree. I mean, I guess this fits in. So like, let's say you get your spam email or your outbound or wherever you want to call it, and it's their outreach, and then it says, hey, I'm just looking at your website. Can you use like a lot of improvement? We're X, Y, and Z. You should check this out. And you go to the website and you start seeing packages, right? So I actually don't think it's that crazy to see packages for websites, because websites can kind of...
I don't think that. Yeah, websites I think are fine.
So it's like, starter, intermediate, and advanced.
I also would say that like link building, like if you're buying like organic link building, like people doing outreach for you, doing like guest posting or whatever, like a lot of times like they'll have like a preset, like this is X amount of hours, like cost this, so like this is like package 1, package 2, package 3.
Yeah,
like that's understandable. But like for like an actual SEO service that's like comprehensive, like they take care of all that, I would just be really wary of using anything that had like set hard numbers.
Yeah, because I mean we both agree that marketing campaigns range so much with competitiveness and market and keywords and the amount of content and scope of work that for it to fall into packages just seems counterintuitive.
Here's exactly what they're going to do too, is like maybe the package guarantees like rankings on the first page, right?
Now we're starting to get to spam land.
That's right. But what if it's like keywords that don't matter, that are like low competition, that aren't going to drive any conversions or traffic? Does it really matter if you rank for it? And, the answer to that is no. But hey, guess what? They fulfilled their part of their contract, or they probably signed you to a contract, but they fulfilled that part of it. But now, if you just got the next package, we can go after like more things, right? And like that's what it is, right? It's just a way to get you in the door and like give you like the illusion that like there's potential with what they're doing, right? And maybe there is, maybe like, maybe they can really get you that, but like it's a lot of runaround to like have to go through, and like a lot of like wasted time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and wasted time as a business owner, time is more valuable than almost anything besides profits. But like everyone values their time as a business owner. You're not going to try to waste it. And it's just there's a much greater likelihood that you're just going to simply be wasting a lot of time and then be adding to your frustration, adding to your jadedness about working with the next company. If you're going with people that are like money back, guarantees month to month, like all these kind of gimmicky things that like, agencies that do have to pay for great personnel and you have to stick with them to see all these things through, because it's a comprehensive plan that doesn't take 1 or 2 or 3 months. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And what we're talking right now is just, I guess, the next step to qualify them if they're spam or not. So you get like a preliminary email. Okay, yeah, you got me at the right time. I am thinking about marketing. Now you take the next step. What's going to look spammy, or what are some red flags? And that's going to be, packaging and everything. Like, oh, no worry, everything's going to fall under the bronze, silver, gold, or platinum. And then also like, each package depends how many keywords do you want to rank for. Do you want 5? That's starter. Do you want 15?
Yeah,
that's
don't
intermediate. Like,
do anything with any company that says that.
I hate it. And then, frankly, I've never had a client come to me and be like, I got this medium package with 20 keywords. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be talking to me.
So another big thing that you'll see in emails too is like maybe they'll do like a scan of your site, or
so we're heading to like the next part where maybe they're supplying some decent data. But
so
you have to
let's say
sense
like
of it.
They've done a little bit of like research on your site, right? And so they'll package it, the information like a lot of ways. So one can be from like a technical aspect. They're like, your site is super slow compared to like competitors in your space or whatever. Or they might even use competitors. They'll say like, your site's super slow. It's prohibiting you from ranking well in Google.
Yes.
We did all this stuff, right? In all reality, they probably didn't do anything. Even if they did do something, they're not going to tell you what it is. And a lot of times it's like not something you would need to hire an agency to do.
So you're saying this is like a case where it's a they just say it's slow versus they actually like give you data or a screenshot attachment?
So sometimes they'll do both, right? So like I've seen them, or they just say, hey, your site's very slow, it's like stopping it from ranking in Google, or they might use some other technical like BS, right? Like You know, it could just be any number of things. Like, oh, you have blank amount of errors on your site, or like something
that's like going the opposite way. Like the site speed is typically easy to be truthful about, because all you gotta do is like a Google Insights, or you gotta do like some other
but if you
website.
don't know anything about those things,
the errors
you wouldn't even know how to.
It gets a little tricky though, because most of the time those are BS.
Well, I mean, and maybe you do have 404 errors, but like every site has 404 errors. You know,
I mean,
so there's all kinds of things in there that might 404 that aren't necessarily like. It's not like a bad thing from a user experience. You mean like maybe you don't like? There's all kinds of like images or like it's like stuff in the theme or whatever.
Stuff like a URL changed for one thing.
Or
and
like
and you can't even navigate to it.
And like there's a reason why like you have a 404 page on a site. It's you know like as an SEO you always want to say like you don't want any 404 errors, but whatever. But like it's not like that big of a deal if you have 404 errors. Like you don't want a million of them, and obviously you don't want pages that are important that links are going to. For users and that are important to get crawled, but like all sites have 404 errors. Like it's just gonna happen, and like the larger your site gets, the more complicated, the more stuff that you add, like you're gonna have it like at some point. And like a million things can cause like a 404 error. It's not always just like a page isn't showing. You know, there's like lots of things that have URLs that aren't just like pages that people go to.
Yeah, I mean, when I see emails, it's like, oh, there's critical errors on your website that have to be addressed. Typically it's not the case, because as long as if your website's up and active and people can use it, there's probably not really any huge critical errors, unless you have like, I don't know, every single internal link is broken, or you've outbound links for every single outbound link on your website goes to a website that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it takes a lot for your website to be in that bad a shape.
Yeah. So, you know, that's something that you'll probably see at some point as someone doing some sort of technical audit to your website and giving you feedback about it. And so the thing to keep in mind for this too is sometimes that information, it isn't wrong. Like sometimes it's right. Like you can do a crawl of like any site and like pull back that information. But you having to hire a company to fix it is like where it kind of gets like interesting, right? Especially for like whatever they would charge or the job that they would do.
Well, yeah, I mean that's like the value proposition. If someone's telling you there's a bunch of critical errors on your website, what do they even want to do? Do they want to step in and be a webmaster now?
Yeah.
Do they want to rebuild a website? Like what are they accomplishing? Are they going to be like, oh, there's a bunch of critical errors, we can handle your digital marketing? It's like kind of like presenting an apple oranges scenario now.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's your intention?
So, you know, that's just something that I personally would never pitch something to like a client that way. You know, like doing a technical site audit and like cold calling essentially someone with a technical site audit.
So what do you think is like the best? So I definitely my opinion, and I'm not being biased because I do this with my company or anything.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the most like genuine, maybe like benign way that someone presents something to you in a way where they want to, you know, they want to sell you something, but like in a way where you're not going to be off-put?
Well, you know, as an SEO, I'm all about inbound marketing, right? So like I would want to find that person through something that I found useful, right? So whether it was like an article they wrote or like they ranked well for something or reviews or, you know, like usually if I'm looking for a particular type of marketing, like it's really specific, right? So let's say it's like YouTube marketing. Like I want someone like an agency that can do really, really good, like not just make videos or whatever and like rank them, but like maybe it's like ads, right? They'll run like YouTube ads for you. So I'm gonna start just like anyone else would start with anything. Like you go into Google, you start searching stuff.
Well, I'm talking about like how would someone have to hit you up outbound? So like this company, let's say I am that YouTube company that you're looking for, and I happen to have you.
They would have to show like, so what would work with me is like examples of something they've done that's been really successful.
What would their introductory email look like? Would it be like, hey, we're a great video marketing company that's done X, Y, and Z, or would they be like, hey, I've noticed that you have like an amazing YouTube channel, and we actually have like this product that does X, Y, and Z?
I mean, I'm really, really like hard to like sell to, as like it is. So, but The only time I can think of something where I was like cold called and like wanted to get it afterwards, and I wasn't even really cold called, but I think it was from like HubSpot.
There's a lot of people use HubSpot. I like always forget how many agencies and companies use it.
So like I had downloaded some like ebook from HubSpot like a year earlier, right?
They got you at the Rolodex.
So yeah, so like I downloaded something like a year earlier, and then I just happened to like I was looking for a particular type of service for something, and like I was on HubSpot like reading this article about it, and they sent me an email like 5 minutes afterwards.
Oh, so you triggered something and you're already in the database.
That's right.
So they had all your info. And
I was on there like a year before that.
That's very
very
HubSpot-esque.
They're like, hey, Paul, we saw you were on this page looking for this thing. We offer this. Would you be interested in like talking to like one of our reps about it?
It's pretty next level.
And I was like, damn, that was good. That was pretty good.
I guess I'm gonna have to, aren't I?
So I was just more impressed about like that they did it that way. Honestly,
I think that's
I listened to them afterwards. But like generally for me, it's like I have to see something like I'm blown away with to like wanna like it's really hard to cold call me. Like I just won't pay attention to it for the most part. Like I'm usually like looking for the thing that I want. So like I don't even know what like you would have to show me something in an email that I had never seen before that's like fucking amazing.
Yeah, so speaking about that, so we're talking about like the different tiers of emails. So we established tier 1 is garbage, don't even give them the time of day because it's a waste of time. Tier 2 is once they start getting into things that actually are a little bit more sensible and more ubiquitous with websites. So like, yeah, sometimes there are errors, sometimes there are site speed things. They do have their merits, but what in the email are they going to have to provide for you to actually give them the time of day? And for that one, I mean, they're really going to have to not be a generic, like you just have errors or you just have a slow site. They're going to have to like screenshot. They're going to have to like go into like detail. They're going to have to like really.
If they went into such detail, even then I would just fix it myself. But I do SEO. Well, let's say I didn't.
So let's talk about how critical site speed really is. So how easy is that to fix? It could be between 30 minutes and an hour.
Yeah, it can be really.
So it's not a good selling point because there's the.
But people don't know that.
Well, that's why we're.
So we're telling you guys right now. Don't listen to it.
So site speed should not be something that's scary, but it's something that scares people because it's true. Okay, the implications of site speed can be true. It's not so much that like Google will index you, but it could affect it. But its user experience will get trashed.
Yeah.
Because people will not wait 10 seconds for your website to load, and that is true.
Yeah.
Because that sucks. So what do? Most of the time it's going to be that there's a lot of bloated code on the website. So you have a WordPress website that has 50 plugins on it. It can be 2. I think we've discussed in this past, but it's a reminder.
We've talked, yeah.
People tend to just upload images without considering image size. So they might have 50 megabytes worth of images on the front page. And then lastly, your host is GoDaddy.
Yeah, that won't do it.
And you're like on a starter
and they're
package.
like, well, yeah, there's nothing you can do about that.
You have crappy hosting.
Yeah, don't get the starter package. We've said this before.
So all in all, like, yeah, if you get it, they might be true, especially if they back up with data. But you're not going to have to like pay someone a crap ton of money for it. You might, if you have time. That's one thing where if you're savvy at all, you can have someone to help you. You can fix that yourself pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Site errors. It's going to depend on the errors.
But even if you're not savvy, you can find like someone to do that, like on a one-off job on like a lot of websites.
Yeah, just don't start going down that road. Like, I'm gonna have to hire this company. They're gonna do like the cleanup espresso package for $4.99, and it's gonna take my Google speed score from 50 to 90. It's like, nah, you'll do that in an hour. Just figure it out.
So another thing that you'll see too, I don't see that much anymore, is like backlink profiles of your website, and like they'll try and tell you like, you got a bunch of toxic links, it's going to be really bad, you're going to be like a lot of trouble here.
I don't see that as much anymore.
I used to see it quite a bit. I don't see it that much anymore. We're getting into like a cool story that I think we've talked about.
We're going to cool story town right now?
Cool story town that we talked about before in the past. I can't remember if we talked about it.
We're not repeating ourselves already. It's only like 12 episodes.
But it was,
13 episodes.
well, no, it was the one that you got from the Fiverr guy. that was like threatening you.
That was hilarious.
So like that is a whole new level.
We can tell that story again because it's funny.
Yeah. So why don't you tell it? Because it happened to you.
Oh man, my memory's fogged up today. But what he grabbed me from Fiverr and he basically said, it's like, hey, I hate to do this, but I got a wife and a kid to feed. But basically, if you don't buy one of my Fiverr gigs for like $10 or $15 by the end of the week, I'm gonna have to send you a ton of
all the terrible links.
I'm gonna have to bombard your website with negative SEO. And he's like, I'm sorry, I have to do this. I'm sorry, it has to be this way or something.
Yeah. It was like, you understand. I'm sorry, but you understand.
And
it was something stupid like that.
It was nuts because basically his account got banned within probably minutes of doing that kind of crap. But backlink analysis kind of stuff, identifying and saying that you have toxic links, almost always they're not going to take the time to look at that.
Yeah.
But if they put together a report, that one's tricky because how's anyone going to know? And how can you verify it? So what'll happen is they'll put together a report and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I have links from a porn website, I have links from a casino website, and they'll be like, but how's a business owner going to know how to verify that?
Yeah.
They're like, not.
They probably don't even know really what those are to begin with. I mean, they're like, what's the backlink? You know, like a lot of times, like, I don't know what's going. This is just bad. Like, there's something bad about my site.
I guess just ignore it.
Yeah, just ignore those.
If they start talking about backlinks, if you have a company already, I mean, you can send it their way and they'll be able to do a report. But if you don't have a company that you work with or anyone you can go to, man, that's something that's just a whole separate conversation. So what are the ones? So we're talking about things that do have their merits. Like, yes, it's nice to clean up code. It's nice to not have toxic backlinks. It's nice to have a good site speed. But what are some emails that you might get where you're just trying to be like, this may be legit, maybe it's worth pursuing?
Well, if I get an email and they're like specifically referencing like stuff in that niche and like work that they've done in that niche, and they're like, hey, you know, we've been working with like a bunch of lawyers from like all these different cities. You know, I'd love to send you some case studies and stuff. Like that would like work on me, right? Or like, yeah, they're like, hey, we do a bunch of like YouTube advertising for like rehab companies. You know, we've kept our clients for a long time. We've had a lot of success. You know, we'd love to show you some examples of stuff that we did and like some conversion rates. Like usually like hard numbers, conversion rates, and like actual like stuff that can be verified, that can be shown.
Like an introductory email.
Yeah, if they're like if they can show me that kind of stuff, like I'll absolutely get back to them, right? Because like you're really just like I just want to cut through like the bullshit, or like I just want to get to like the point of the conversation.
Well, like, the whole thing is like when you start humoring a lot of these people and picking up calls, it's not so much that you're like learning a bunch of stuff. You're just kind of going to waste a lot of your time.
Yeah, like what I don't want to do is sit on a call and like walk through a tool. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to see how Bright Edge works again. I'm sorry. Like I don't want to have like a webinar, or not even a webinar, but just like an online like video walkthrough of like how your tool does whatever. Like I really don't care. You know, so. And like that happens to me like a lot with like a lot of things, especially like if you're an in-house like SEO, like everyone's trying to pitch something to like your company that's like company wide. It's like shit that you can use, right? And so yeah, like for me, if you'd have to be super niche, and you'd have to have like examples to show me of, you know, like of what that does, and like how you helped other competitors, and like be cool that you're gonna take on another person that niche.
So what's their offering going to be? So for you, how do you feel? So they're saying all this stuff, and it's obvious that they're speaking right to you. It's not like kind of a generic thing. And then let's say they say, I want to prove to you that we would be able to do some things maybe you haven't done before.
Yeah.
Do you want a free audit, or what happens if someone said, I can audit your website for $500?
No, absolutely not.
No, so you would never pay for a comprehensive audit from someone that you felt was actually probably reputable?
I wouldn't pay for an audit unless I reached out to a company to have an audit done. Like you couldn't pitch me on an audit ever.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like so if there was some particular reason that I needed an audit, which I don't know why I wouldn't do that myself, right? But like,
I mean, the only situation you
but like even if I didn't know how to do it myself, I would know what to do with it, probably.
Well, one situation I'm sure that you use it is and it's extremely, extremely specific, is it like there was someone like in your niche that was like kind of almost like an icon. You're like, I know this guy is the shit at this kind of marketing, and he's gonna like do it for me.
Anybody was like, I'm gonna charge you for it.
Yeah,
but he would like so.
But he would like personally oversee it.
If like I'm trying to think of like Gary Schwartz is like, I'll audit your website for like $200. Yeah, I'll probably do that.
Why did you use a name of someone we actually know?
Oh, that we know?
Yeah.
Personally? I don't know Gary Schwartz.
Did you make up that name?
No, you know who Gary Schwartz is.
You don't mean him like literally.
No. If like the
Tony,
most
like
well-known local SEO, like for Google My Business.
That you like read his blog and listened to his podcast, you're like, this guy.
Yeah. If like there's a woman who's like super well known and like the local SEOs.
I'm glad you're being inclusive of everyone.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's a lady doing it.
Yeah,
it's good. Cool.
Yeah, she's really good at it, right? She's.
Oh, you do know someone?
Yeah, this is an actual person. Right?
Oh,
like,
well, you should have said that.
There's a woman who's like super well known in like the local SEO circles
around here
in the world at large, not just
in the States.
We're at, not just Orlando. And if she, I would pay her to like audit everything and tell me what to do.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. That would be, but like she's so, like that's the only way it would happen.
The reason I mention it is because. Oh no, the whole thing wasn't even recording. So the reason I was asking about the audits and paying for it is because what happens is someone goes to you and says, "Hey, I'll do the free audit," and the website, first of all, they're probably going to do kind of like the topical. It's not going to get like super in depth.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be like their foot that they're going to put down and say, "Now I'm going to blow up your shit like forever." Basically, it's like I'm going to call, I'm going to email until you say like, no. And then if you pay for it, obviously you already paid for a product, so it's not like it still is their way of getting through the foot in the door, but
Yeah. Well, but to answer your question, though, the only way that I would personally pay for an audit, right, is if it's like a really particular niche thing and like the most known person, and it would be like to learn something like I didn't already know, right? So like that's it.
How is that even possible?
I mean, there's a lot I don't know. So.
Oh, good. Well, I was just saying it.
But yeah, like it wouldn't just be like a regular like SEO audit, right? Like because I have tools and stuff to do that, but like it would have to be like.
That's the thing too, is that tools are getting so sophisticated nowadays that both you can. I'm not saying every business owner is going to like sit there and buy their SEMrush and other tools like that.
But they can do a lot of amazing stuff. That like
it does basically these things.
Like
automate.
Deep Crawl is like a really amazing tool. Ahrefs can do like all that kind of stuff.
They spit out audits that like people 5 years ago would have to spend like 3 or 4 hours probably putting together.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. So what else would constitute a outbound or an email or a call that's like worth your time?
I mean, as like the owner of an agency, I'm sure you get calls.
For me,
yeah, I'm sure like people pitch you services
all
all the
like
time,
white
right?
label or like you use us as a vendor and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even now at this point, still, I usually just get more like vendor related calls than I get like anything else.
Okay.
But for
getting the hint.
Getting the hint.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, we're gonna stop calling Paul because he just put out this podcast about like don't ever
call
me.
Listen to this and don't call me and pitch me any more vendors.
The story is figure it out.
I'll talk to you first. I'll initiate this conversation.
But if someone's going to you and saying something very specific and like if they hit your pain point, maybe it's worth proceeding. So if like you're having trouble generating positive reviews and someone calls you and says, "Hey, listen, we have a pretty good system for generating reviews in your niche," and they sound like they know what they're talking about, check it out.
Yeah.
If they have one where it's like,
here's what you want to do to be safe, right? Like never just go with like whatever someone pitches you, right? Like shop around for one. Always like look at reviews for like these like companies that would pitch you that stuff. Like that's really like big.
I always check them out.
Always ask for case studies. For them, like look at their website. Do they even have a website?
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of times they don't.
Have a website, then that's kind of scary.
Yeah, like stay away from that. There's a lot of like kind of red flags that like pop up. For the most part, cold call emails, I mean, they know you're not going to respond, right? And it's like a numbers game. So what they're really hoping on is it's sort of someone that doesn't know what they're doing, seeing it and responding to it. And just keep that in mind when you read those. Like they probably sent out 30,000 of those same templated emails. So don't trust them. I guess that's what we're getting at. Yeah. Trust no one. Don't trust anyone ever, except for Market My Market.
Watch X-Files and go out there.
That's it.
So yeah, we love seeing these emails and hearing the cold call pitches. If you have anything that you've ever seen and you're unsure about,
and if you have any crazy ass emails for pitches and stuff, I've seen a lot of them.
I've seen probably between 3,000 and 5,000 crazy emails.
Yeah,
well, not crazy, but in general, 3,000 or 5,000 emails.
But if you have one, you can leave us a message on our Podbean website, because we don't even have our actual website still running because we're so busy.
Our actual website just redirects somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think it redirects to Podbean.
Well, I must have given out your phone number in the previous podcast.
Don't do that again. So you can just leave a message on our Podbean. Which if you just search SEO's Dead and Other Lies, it'll come up first for Podbean, and you can just leave us messages in there through their Facebook messaging app. So
yeah, I definitely have and love giving unbiased feedback about a proposal.
We'll tell you, straight up, if it's bullshit. We'll tell you.
Oh no, don't go to them. Market My Market.
Yeah.
No, that's not what will happen. Generally, if it looks good and everything makes sense for what's going on, and it's a good fit, then it's a good fit. So
yeah,
everyone deserves to be happy in digital.
Just be happy.
This working marketplace.
It is. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything that you need to know to kind of stay safe from these spam emails that come out.
Stay safe.
So, I'm Paul Warren.
And I'm Ryan Klein.
And this has been another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies.
Bye.
Bye.
Kentucky is my favorite state.